Well, this is Still River Radio, and this is the old guy. Getting older faster. Time seems to be not slipping into the future, but flying into the future, like a like 80 miles an hour, like a runaway train. Anyway, Christmas is coming up on us fast. Things are pretty much all in place, and Carl Krasansky, uh, who drives around in an old Ford Fairlane station wagon. He does odd jobs and paints and fixes like porches and things like that. And um, he he drives around with his uh, pet dog, well, former pet dog Sparky, who died about 7 or 8 years ago, and he had him stuffed. And Sparky sits on the front end of the roof of the station wagon. Sparky's not sitting but standing on all fours. And Sparky has like this snarl lip with teeth that stick out one side, sort of mangy looking dog. And Carl dresses him up and decorates him for a holiday season. So this year he's Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer. He's got little antlers and a little red nose and and a Superman cape on him. I don't know why he put that on, but anyway, and he's got these little, those small Christmas lights, kind of strung all around Sparky on the roof, and that's the sure sign that Christmas is well nigh. So anyway, I'm old now, and you know, deep down in the deep recesses of your heart, you remember those Christmases. And the older you get, in the early morning hours or late at night, those memories surface. They come back when you're not on guard. You're in that twilight zone, and and you remember the old Christmas carols sung the old-fashioned way, and he, and it brings this warm yearning to you, this feeling of when it was like warm, and though it was cold out, snow was miraculous, everything was miraculous. And you remember singing the old little town to Bethlehem, and especially Silent Night, the old-fashioned way. You wake up and you have a tear dripping out of your eye. You yearn for that sweet, warm kindness when the world was a sweet, warm place, almost like being in the womb, but better. And well, and memories come back of stringing popcorn on thread to decorate the tree, and when the tree caught fire and mother threw a bucket of water on half of it and doused it, but we kept the tree. We just turned the bad side around and let the good side show. And that was like people, you know. Uh, Once Christmas came on, and if you went to church or you went to a Christmas gathering, a party, or carol singing, the warm side showed. And and in school, our music teacher, who was the most phenomenal music teacher we ever had, Mrs. Allen, I'll never forget her. She was incredible, and she was definitely, even Halloween, she had the holiday spirit, and she would put on these musical productions, and of course the Christmas school party was amazing, and But we had two characters, main characters, the principal of our elementary school and the vice principal. Principal was a big, tall, distinguished fellow. They called him Dr. R. And the vice principal was this Italian guy who looked like one of the Mario brothers with a suit on, with comb slicked back here, and they loved to showcase their talent during the Christmas show. There would be like 3 parts to it, and the one where we would sing Christmas carols at the end with the rhythm band, which I was in. I had really bad rhythm. They removed me from the rhythm stick section because I was kind of doing off beats all the time. So, they put me in the kazoo section. And, well, the principal, he fancied himself a violin player, and he sounded more in the line of, I don't know if you remember Jack Benny, who loved to showcase his violin playing on these old 50 TV shows. Those came back too during the holiday season. These old 50s and early 60s TV shows start replaying in my head, and he would get up there and play a few Christmas carols on his wheezy violin and slip in and out of tune, really sour notes. But then the vice principal, he fancied himself a vocalist, and he would sing unaccompanied the whole complete German Good King Wenceslaus. Now, if you know the unabridged version, this carol goes on for like 15 to 20 minutes. There's I would say 200 verses to it. And he would sing this, though amazingly he did pretty much stay on key. And it would go on and on. And finally, when it ended, we just applauded just because it ended. And, and this would happen in the gym of the elementary school, which had the stage at one end. And the cheerleaders would come out. We had cheerleaders in elementary school, which was really funny. And but elementary school back then went from first grade to 8th grade. You didn't have middle school or junior high school, so you had this wide range, and you had a wide range of students. Classes weren't, as they called, tracked. Tracking came out in the early 60s with those Minnesota intelligence tests that they gave out regularly, and it put you in the moderate group, the slow group, or the fast learners group of classes. And that was really demeaning because nobody wanted to be seen in the slow tracking class. But before that, you didn't have that, so it was a hodgepodge in the class. Anyway, that's holiday season in Still River, way back in the early days when you sang Christmas carols the way they were supposed to be sung, you thunk or thinked. Anyway, that's the news from Still River.